You're listening to 88.3 The Stain, Cleveland's modern rock alternative. My name is Zach Audenwiller, and today I'm joined with Welshly Arms lead singer and guitarist Sam Getz. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm good, Zach. Thanks for taking the time to talk.
Yeah, thanks for joining me here today. We're going to talk about a few things. You guys recently had a new song released, Are You Lonely, which we're currently playing at the station. So my first question for you is just to tell me a little bit more about that song and where the inspiration came with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that song kind of stems from a feeling of like, as we're all getting older and kind of losing connection with these people that had such a big part of our lives, we had so much fun with, for so long. And now it's like, where'd they all go? I haven't been in touch with anybody. Like, how can we get the party going again? And then I think it was like even more poignant with the with the coronavirus and quarantines and stuff like that. Like, even if you were staying in touch with your friends, at some point we've all kind of felt a little too isolated um and lonely, and so I think it made even more sense now than it had with the original kind of idea for the song.
Great. Yeah, we really love it at the station, and we know the listeners
Cool.
are enjoying it as well. So sure, that's great. And your other big song, the big hit Legendary, played in a lot of different like of the sports NFL, and I remember it was the one theme song for a WWE show,
Yeah.
FIFA game. So did you want to talk
Yeah.
about that one a little bit too?
Yeah, sure. And I was just doing Asphalt 9 racing game, and it came on,
Oh,
and because I think the Asphalt 9, it was like titled Legends of Racing or something like that, and so they played in to that. But that was a kind of a fun little surprise. I'm like playing, and then I know that song.
yeah.
um, but I'm really thankful for that song and thankful that we recorded it and put it out into the world, because when we first started it, we thought like, I don't know if this is really like us or the right sound or what we want to do. And then somewhere along the way we just thought like, screw it, we're just gonna put it out. And it ended up like really opening a lot of doors for us. It opened doors
Yeah.
internationally, and like you said, in some of these films and sports promos, things like that. And so a lot of people heard Welshly Arms through those opportunities that song was able to give us. So really, really thankful for that song. And actually, it's one of my favorite songs to play still to this day. And we've been playing it now for 3 or 4 years, maybe. And I really like it. So I guess thankful is the right word. I'm just thankful that song like came into our lives, and that we followed through with it and put it out into the world.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you still enjoy playing it. I always wonder if artists get tired of playing like the song that everyone loves, you know?
I always wonder that too, and I'm sure it's different for different people. And even this song, I kind of wondered if by now I wouldn't want to play it, because at some point it became clear, like, all right, this is one of those songs where you're probably going to have to play this every time you go on
Yeah.
stage. Anything you're doing on stage, if it's getting feedback, if you're getting feedback from the fans, and for instance with Legendary, they'll start singing along, and they get excited to when we start the song, and they
Yeah.
show us some kind of appreciation for it. And so it feeds your soul, and it gives you that energy back, so it makes it still a really, really fun song to perform, because you feel like you're giving them something, and they're kind of giving you something back whenever that song comes on. So I think that helps, and I would imagine it's like that for a lot of other artists when they do, their more popular songs. Getting that energy back from the crowd is what makes it really, really fun to keep performing.
Sure. Yeah. So love the music, but I want to know a little bit more about yourself now. Like where you come from.
Okay.
Obviously, you guys are a Cleveland band. We love our local bands.
Yeah.
But a
Yeah.
little more about yourself.
Sure. I grew up in Ashland County, which is not, too far down south from here. And I live in Avon now. And a couple of us are in Avon. We've got some Shaker Heights. We've got a Chagrin member, a Lakewood. So we're kind of scattered around the Cleveland area now. But most of us did grow up in Ohio, with the exception of one of the singers, John, met the other singer, Bree, in Denver when she lived there briefly. And then she brought him back to Cleveland. So he's the only like Cleveland transplant. So we give him a hard time about that, but luckily he's cool. So we'll let him stay. But yeah, grew up in Ashland County, and came up. My parents moved to Avon Lake when I was 16, and I used to listen to WBWC all the time. Had a band with a couple of the guys, Mikey and Jimmy from Welshly Arms. We had a band called Cactus 12 back. It was some time ago. It was like our first band. We were just learning. But WBWC was cool enough to spin some of our music, and like that really gave us, that encouragement, and kind of like, oh, this is cool, getting, songs played on the radio. And I think, that probably has something to do with us sticking with music. And then years down the road, we formed Welshly Arms, and you guys have been cool enough to spin our music now. So thank you.
Yeah. I didn't even know that, but that's really cool. It makes me wonder if we still have it. We have a huge library of all of our locals and stuff, so have to check
it out. I mean, it's it's a little different. It's our young selves like trying to figure everything out.
Yeah.
Probably, I think we self-recorded a lot of stuff. We still do, actually, but it was early on, so I'm sure the quality is interesting. But that's the other thing about Are You Lonely? The latest song is like, it kind of took us back a little bit, I think, because the theme of the lyrics and what that song was about. We also kind of wanted to play it in a little bit more of the way we used to play, which is just a little more all out, like big drums kind of thing. So it feels a little more like something we would have done back then.
Cool. So I wanted to ask about your biggest inspirations, musically and non-musically, that kind of inspire you every day to continue
Awesome
your career.
Yeah, it probably, for me, the music journey, and with life too. But my dad was a big influence. He's a huge music fan and a drummer, and so I used to go around and like carry his drums to gigs and set them up for him, just so I could hang out with the guys and watch a rock band. And then he had an amazing record collection. So I grew up on like Motown and classic rock. A lot of he really liked like the British Invasion stuff, which is like, bluesy rock from a bunch of white guys who were just emulating like the American blues stuff of like the Delta, the Mississippi, and
Right.
even the Chicago blues stuff. And so then I dug a little deeper because I liked those records, like the Eric Clapton stuff and Jimi Hendrix. And so I think when we started our band, we sort of thought we were going to be a little more of like a blues band, and it really just started as like four guys jamming on blues riffs and stuff like that. Obviously like the Black Keys and the White Stripes and bands like that. I think there is something probably in the region too, because those are Detroit and Akron aren't very far away, but I think we're all kind of influenced by that sort of bluesy guitar, swampy thing. So those were big influences of mine. And then I think this is going to sound probably kind of cheesy, but I've been asked this even on interviews that aren't local interviews. So, but I've mentioned before that I think Cleveland is an influence over us. I think we were influenced by the way we were raised, by, something about the lake there, the mentality that Clevelanders have. And I was trying to explain this to someone yesterday, actually. But it's like we can kind of mock ourselves or make fun of which we do a lot as Clevelanders. We like are self-deprecating a lot. But if someone else says something, we're like, what? No, we're the best, and we have each other's back and we'll fight, you know.
Yeah.
I think there's something to that influences our music and the way we kind of go out and perform the music and stuff.
Nice. So, other than Cleveland, what are some of your favorite cities to perform in?
Well, we've grown quite fond of Germany and Switzerland and some other places abroad. Budapest we've had some great shows there, some great festivals. There's a lot of really cool European festivals that we've been fortunate enough to go and play. And so I'm trying to think. So Berlin, I've gotten I've fallen in love with Berlin a lot, but I like Chicago and Boston. I like Milwaukee a lot because it reminds me of Cleveland. So I really enjoy going to Milwaukee. But yeah, Cleveland is, it feels like home. It's I don't know, it's my jam.
Yeah. So the last question I have for you is, what can you tell us what can we expect out of you guys here in the near future? Just for the band in general, any new releases upcoming? What are your plans? Any tours?
Yeah. Both things. We've been working on music this whole time. We've been like in our different quarantines and all this COVID era. We've just been hammering away at new songs. We've recorded a bunch of them. We wanted to put out an album about a year ago. That was the plan. And then it just kind of didn't feel right to put out music when we didn't know when we'd be able to go tour and perform these songs. And then, I don't know, it kind of like bummed me out thinking we could put out like 12 songs and maybe never play them, because then by the time we go to play, we'll have another record. And something just, it sort of like messed up the whole timeline of things. So we decided to sort of wait, and we've sprinkled out some singles along the way. So we've put out, I think, four different singles in the last year and a half. And so the plan now is, I think, spring, maybe summer, put out an entire record that we'll include those singles on it, but we'll add a bunch more in there. And so 2022, we will put out a full record. And then the plan right now is to tour in the fall. And as long as, the trajectory of the world, as long as we can improve things and feel like we can go out safely and tour. And that's the plan. That's what we would like to do and plan on doing right now. So record and touring.
That's
in
great.
2022.
That's great. Yeah, hopefully we can get both of those.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
Whole pandemic just hopefully calms down here soon.
Yeah. So everybody stay safe, and that's all I got.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
Yeah, this has been Sam Getz with Welshly Arms here on 88.3 The Sting.